hitting up our very first private campground, Cherrystone Park. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of our RV adventures. For this particular trip, we went to Cherrystone Campground in Cape Charles, Virginia, which was super fun. I would say it was the most exciting trip that we've taken so far, only because there were lots and lots of activities.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah,
sure.
Kind of pricey. I want to say that it cost us about $230 for 4 nights and 5 days. We did not have a premium spot, although I was happy with our spot. We were in site 249, which was kind of in the middle and very close to the pools and mini golf, the general store, the little cafes. So I thought it was a really good spot. Actually, I was happy with it.
I would have preferred something on the beach so you can have the view of the ocean.
Right. Those sites, apparently you have to book them out a year in advance. At least that's what one of the other guests told us. They said that they opened up their reservations online in April of the previous year, and then you can book then. And apparently they book pretty quickly for those premium sites. If that's something that you're interested in, you definitely want to look into doing that for the next year. One of the scariest things for me about going to this particular campsite was the fact that we had to cross the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, which I have this crazy irrational fear of crossing bridges, especially bridges over water. So I was like in panic mode the whole time leading up to this trip. And I gotta tell you, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I think I got myself worked up for nothing.
Yeah, the worst part was the tunnels.
Yeah.
The bridges is like going to the Keys, pretty much. You know,
which is terrifying.
I mean, we've done that, so you shouldn't have been so scared.
I know.
But the tunnels are very narrow.
Yeah.
And when you're towing an 8-foot wide trailer, you're pretty much riding the whole lane. And you have oncoming traffic. So you need to be very attentive and straight and try not to swerve. And it's
that was very nerve-wracking for you.
Yeah. And then we had to go to 3 different tunnels, which was, 3 terrifying experiences. They were brief. They weren't very long tunnels.
No, they weren't.
A few minutes. So you got to focus, and that was one of the most nerve-wracking experiences. Yeah.
So here's the thing: the tunnel is going to cost money, $24 each way. So that can add up pretty quickly. So just keep that in mind. Also, if you're towing a trailer or something like that, prior to going across the bridge, they do check the wind conditions, and apparently, if the wind conditions are too high, they will not let you cross. So that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Also, you have to pull over.
You checked out?
She wanted to see me shut off the propane tanks.
Awesome.
Manually. They didn't find the kilos.
Inspection stations, guys. If you're towing a trailer, don't forget that if you have propane and things like that, you're actually supposed to pull over at the inspection site so that they can check your tanks and make sure that they are turned off, which ours were turned off. But it takes like 2 seconds and it's no big deal. Once we crossed the bridge and we arrived into Cape Charles, it was a really cute town, lots of cute little houses. There is like a major grocery store over there, a Food Lion, ABC store, things like that.
We're making a quick pit stop. We're almost there, literally about 10 minutes from the park. But we forgot a couple of essential items, like ketchup and liquor. ABC.
Which we had to make a pit stop at so he could
through in the clutch.
So he could get some vodka, because I forgot to pack the vodka.
How you gonna forget the vodka?
I don't know. I remember the wine. But anyway, there's other campgrounds. There's other campsites also on the Eastern Shore in that particular city. There's the KOA and...
Yeah, there's like 3 different parks over there, which is really cool.
Yeah, Kiptiki.
Gives us another reason to go back.
Yeah, Kiptiki State Park, the KOA Chesapeake, and then we stayed at Cherrystone.
Right.
So if you book with Cherrystone a couple days prior to your check-in, they're going to send you an email giving you the opportunity to complete the payment online. If you decide to do that, when you arrive to Cherrystone, you do not really need to get out of the car and go into the registration center, which is what I did. I didn't realize I didn't have to do that. So again, if you pay in full online, all you have to do is head straight through the booth and they will have your paperwork and they tell you how to get to your campsite.
So parking, let's talk about that part, because that was interesting. You can pretty much park any way you want on your site. When we got in there, we saw trailers parked in so many different kind of ways. So it's really up to your abilities, or I believe you can call someone who works for the campground that can use a tractor to park you in a certain position if you can't angle your truck into that position. So that's another option that I saw a lot of people using. We didn't use it. We were able to pull straight into our spot, which was cool. We didn't really have any issues.
You will hear a lot about how people at campgrounds are super friendly and they are always willing to help. That is true. As soon as we arrived, there were like people like, hey, you know, you need help, which is really actually kind of cool, you know, especially when you're a newbie. One
guy who's already there set up, he was guiding me through, making sure I didn't hit the picnic table or the actual plumbing that was coming out of the ground. So they were looking out. And then this other guy named Kurt giving me a tip on how to unhitch, because I was having issues unhitching my trailer. He came through in a clutch. They actually became our friends.
Yeah, Curtis and Kelly. They were awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Curtis and Kelly if you get an opportunity to watch this.
This was our first time staying at a site that actually had full hookups, meaning water, electricity, and sewage. So we did not have to go to a dumping station, which was a good thing, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a good thing. You don't have pressure of people waiting behind you while you're trying to, you know.
Yeah, but you want to tell them.
Okay. It was a little mini disaster. So the sewage drain on our site, or maybe throughout the park, was actually above ground, which was unusual for me. I mean, I'm a newbie as it is, and then they threw me with a little curveball with pipes sticking out of the ground like about a foot. So I had to set up my doo-doo pipes on a track, which I had accessible, but I was missing one piece that you attach to the hose. Actually, I had the piece, I just didn't remember where it was. So basically the hose and the part that comes out into the sewage hole was not secured. So it, you know, it was like moving around and stuff. So a few times it would pop off and little doo-doo would like spill out. And then I would have to like run and like shut it off, and it was like,
okay,
it was a hot mess.
The fecal matter would pop out, and I'm so glad I was not there for that, because how embarrassing is that? Like, Elena came running in.
It wasn't a whole lot. It was a little bit, but yeah.
Elena was like, Mom, Dad is making a mess outside. I was like, thanks for telling me, I'm not going out there.
So make sure you have all your pieces and accessories ready to go before you start pulling that lever for your stuff to come out, guys. It's vital, because, you know, it's a mess you're gonna have to worry about cleaning up afterwards.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep your stuff all together in one location so that you can find it.
Yeah, for sure. So prior to hopping on the road, we actually sanitized our freshwater tanks for the first time since we bought the trailer. This is something that you typically want to do at least once a year to make sure that no weird bacteria or things like that are growing in your freshwater tank. So we just threw some bleach in there. Obviously there was a actual amount. I don't know what that amount is. Henry can
Yeah, that's another video.
Yeah, but anyway, we drove with the tanks full. The trailer was full to the brim with water, and then we were able to dump the water and rinse the tanks at Cherrystone. So that was super duper convenient.
Yeah, definitely. See, and you got to do that at least, they say, twice a year.
Yeah. Let's get to the activities. Cherrystone is a great place to go, especially if you have kids, okay? They have cabins that you can rent if you don't have a trailer, or if you're not into tent camping, again, you can rent cute little cabins. It's right on the bay, so they have a beach for dogs, and then they also have a regular beach where you can go and hang out. They have jumping pillows, which I actually took part in quite a few times.
Actually, we all did.
Yeah. Fun. I don't know if it was supposed to be for adults, but we definitely took advantage of that. It was a lot of fun. What Cherrystone reminded me of was like being on a cruise. If you've ever been on a cruise, you know how they give you those daily schedules, and every hour there's like something going on.
Right.
That's exactly how it is at Cherrystone. There are activities going on all day long. They have games, karaoke, they have live bands. There's just always something to do. Bingo, just like a plethora of activities to choose from. Also, they have putt-putt.
This is shot number 7. Let's see. Lucky 8. Lucky 8. Come on. Oh, unlucky 8.
They have 4 different pools, and actually I didn't know if the pools were going to be open because of the whole COVID situation, but they were actually operating on like a rotational schedule where they would clean a pool and the other 3 would be open. And, you know, they had that going on. They also had a splash pad for little kids and whatnot. They had 2 dog parks. One was a really big dog park and the other one was like a smaller size dog park.
They had the dog beach.
Yeah.
We actually took our dog swimming for the first time because Kurt and Kelly, thank you, they gave us a doggy life vest that they had for the golden retriever who was like 100 and something pounds now. So it was a tiny little life vest that Mello can fit perfectly. So that was pretty cool. The dog beach is beautiful too.
Yeah,
it's just as nice as the regular beach.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, dogs are allowed.
Right.
They had all the piers with about 3 different piers or 2 different piers?
I think there were 3.
3 different piers.
Maybe there were 2.
A lot of people were crabbing.
Fishing, crabbing.
A lot of crabs on the beach. I spoke to one guy and he had about 8 crabs in his bucket and he was there for about maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So
it's the bay.
A lot of pickings there.
Yeah, if you're from the DMV, you know that eating crabs is like a part of the culture. So I thought it would be a great time and opportunity to teach Elena how to eat crabs. Obviously, Henry wanted no part of it. And to be honest, I didn't want him nearby because he was going to say something like, ew, cockroaches and...
sea roaches.
Oh, yeah, sea roaches. And I would be like ready to vomit. So I was like, I need you to not be near us so we can just like focus and not get grossed out over the process. But
I'm a vegetarian. So
yeah. Okay, but you haven't been your whole life though. But he's like brand new ever since he became a vegetarian. So anyway, she wasn't grossed out by it. We didn't catch the crabs ourselves. We bought them right at the cafe that's there on site. You can order like crabs and oysters and clams and shrimp, and they catch all of that stuff there themselves. We paid about $32 for a dozen shrimp and a half dozen crabs. That was a lot of fun teaching her how to do that.
Or if you want to save money, just catch it yourself. And a lot of people were cooking it right in their campsite.
Yeah, people were catching them and then like digging like sand pits and creating like little grills. It was a lot of fun. And I hadn't had crabs in forever. I mean, the only crabs I eat now is like from Costco, like already in a container, ready to go. They also had paddle boating, which was fun. Elena and I did that. You can rent kayaks, you can rent boats, you can rent bicycles. They also have bait and tackle shop where you could buy all of your crabbing and fishing gear and bait if you didn't bring it with you.
A lot of people have some pimped out custom golf carts, but if you don't own a golf cart, you can rent one. I think it was $45 a day to rent a golf cart. And at night, you could see people had like strobe lights on their carts or custom like lighting. It was pretty cool. It was like a golf car show in the evening.
Yeah, but you don't need it. I would say it would be a plus to have at least a bicycle with you so you could just kind of cruise around and take a look.
Right.
So they had a couple of different restaurants. I forget what it was called. It was a cafe and they sold seafood and fries and snow cones and things like that. And I think that one is open every day. However, there is another restaurant there, and that particular restaurant is not open on Mondays and Tuesdays, and that is the restaurant that has the ice cream cones that everybody raves about. So we didn't realize this until Monday, and we were leaving Tuesday, so the kids were kind of bummed out that we were not able to get ice cream. So that's just something to keep in mind if that's something you want to do. That will be closed.
Another great thing about Cherrystone is that they had a mini Walmart general store. They pretty much had anything you need in there. I bought a cooler there. We bought firewood there. It was kind of pricey there. You get a little bag with like 3 or 4 pieces for like, was it $6?
Something like that.
But they had another option where you can go and grab your own wood and you can get 10 pieces for $7.
Yeah.
You just gotta probably drive your golf cart or your truck over there to go get the stuff though. But the general store had pretty much everything.
Yeah, and it wasn't like super duper pricey, but
no, it was reasonable.
Yeah, it was
Right.
reasonable, and they literally had all kinds of groceries. They had all kinds of like
canned goods, frozen goods,
beach equipment, RV equipment, little knickknacks, souvenirs.
They had an alcohol fridge where you could get beer and wine and things like that. It was pretty loaded.
So the campground does have complimentary Wi-Fi. However, I will say it's a little spotty.
Unreliable.
Yeah. If you're going there with the intent of working or something like that, I would advise you to have some sort of maybe hotspot
Or a booster
or something. But, you know, for us, we weren't there to work, so that really wasn't an issue.
One of the few negatives I would say the park had was a lack of fire rings, or they didn't have the option at all, really. They allow you to start a fire right on the grass, which to me was a little bit
of a foreign concept.
I feel like I'm gonna start a brush fire, right? I was actually able to find an old truck rim that somebody left on another campsite. So I was able to roll that over to our campground and start a fire that way. But if you don't have that option, you can bring your own fire pit.
People all around us were burning fires and they didn't have a ring, so it's not like you can't do it.
It was just me being annoyed. You know, I get this idea of these California fires in my head. So I don't want to be the one to start one.
Oh, you're Smokey Bear.
Whatever.
Is that what it's called?
I just don't want to be responsible for that. I can't afford that. So bring a fire pit if you're like me. I'm thinking about buying a little small one that we can leave in the trailer.
So one of the most awesome parts about this whole experience was the lack of bugs.
That might be a perk of private camping.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
This is our first experience. This might be why you pay the extra money.
Yeah, I don't know if they spray something. I mean, there were like no bugs.
Right.
Like no mosquitoes. We had an occasional fly. If you've ever eaten crabs before, you know how flies come out of the woodworks. Yeah. There were like hardly any flies. So that was weird. And
they groomed the heck out of the campground.
Yeah.
So that's probably keeping the bugs down too.
Yeah, probably.
Because every time a trailer left, the next morning you could hear the lawnmowers coming and they would mow the site as soon as somebody left. It's the upkeep probably keeps the bugs down.
Yeah, but either way, I keep buying more and more stuff to keep the bugs away. So
yeah, we're gonna have to find a space for all this pesticides.
I use essential oils too. It's not all pesticides.
Okay, so there weren't really any walking trails as state parks have, but you can obviously walk the beach. So we went on a really nice walk one morning. And we walked the whole coast of the property, I guess. It took about, what, 40 minutes or so? And, you know, it's a nice leisure, pleasant walk.
Yeah.
And you see a million crabs running across you.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
The beautiful coastline.
And one of the cool things about the coast is that they have really amazing sunsets.
Yeah, the sunsets were really nice.
They were so beautiful. So if you do go, definitely take advantage of the sunset. Just take, you know, your beach chair over there. I don't know. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, a lot of people would go in the evenings to see the sunset. They would just drive their golf carts and just park it right on the beach. And there's plenty of room, guys. So it's not like a crowded Virginia beach situation.
Cherrystone was our longest trip yet. It was a 4-night. Actually, it ended up being a total of 5 nights because we actually did a harvest host on the 5th night. But it was our longest experience in the trailer. And with that came the additional annoyances of things that we realized that weren't working for us in the trailer. So we took a lot of notes of things that, you know, we are going to look to improve upon. And we will do an RV tour at some point in the future. We're definitely
I think we need to do one when we don't have the kids. Yeah. That way we can keep it kind of clean in there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
With no kids and no dog mess.
Yeah.
We'll get one done eventually.
Yeah, for sure. But we definitely picked up on some things. Like the trash can is one of those things that we were just like, oh, it's in the way all the time. Yeah. Just little minor things. Nothing that made us, you know, hate the trailer. It was just kind of like, okay, this isn't working. We need more command hooks. We need more hangers.
Right. We don't have enough clothing storage.
Right. Yeah. I thought when we initially got the trailer that we had a ton of storage, but after being in there for 5 days, I realized, like, no, we don't have enough room.
Like, we didn't know where to put our dirty laundry, things like that. It's just things that we have to figure out. I mean, we have the space. We just are not utilizing it properly.
Exactly. Oh, here's one thing that we figured out on the trip. Flatulence can actually set off the carbon monoxide detectors as well as
not flatulence. It was
flatulence and Lysol.
You OD'd on the The Lysol. The Lysol is what sets it off. So,
but farts can too.
So somebody farted in the trailer, and it was kind of potent. So you know, the trailer was like, everybody was like, oh.
We were suffocating.
Anyway, she went crazy with this Lysol, and then the alarm started going off.
And this was,
so
guys, this was like after quiet hours, so it was late. Like people were like asleep. You know, it was dark outside, and
it wasn't that late. It was like 10ish. The beeping wouldn't stop, so I thought there was a gas leak.
Yeah.
And I was a little paranoid. I'm like, man, we can't go to sleep like this. So I went out and I shut off the gas in the tank, and it was still beeping. But eventually, when the Lysol cleared out, because we opened the doors and the vents, it stopped. And then she Googled it and discovered that Lysol can set it off. So
and flatulence. So
that's something to keep in mind if you're a new RVer, okay?
Yeah, don't go spraying Lysol and other aerosols in the trailer.
Right. Another annoying thing we discovered was how rough RV toilet paper is, because you can't use regular, you know, Cottonelle or whatever, you know, really nice stuff that you use at home. You got to use this RV thin, kind of like razor sharp after a couple days. So I
didn't know that was an issue for you.
Man, I was struggling. It reminded me when I was a little kid in the PJs, and all my mom bought was Scott's tissue. I don't want to go into detail, but
I feel like we talk about poop a lot.
Okay, maybe.
Sorry, I mean, guys, if this is too much poop talk, just let us know.
Yeah, sorry about that. But I'm just saying, this is something to know for RVers, newbie RVers, that the toilet paper is rough. So you're gonna have to develop a tolerance.
So one thing you could do is you could buy regular toilet paper and just go to the bathhouse. It's up to you. It's a preference. Yeah. Some people actually prefer to use the bathhouses as opposed to their trailers because they don't want to have to deal with the poop massacres and things like that.
Yeah.
So
I can see why. Yeah.
So all in all, guys, Cherrystone was great. We will definitely be going back maybe sometime next year. I think I could see that being like, you know, an annual family trip, especially since it's so close to us.
Yeah, if we get a spot on the beach.
Yeah.
I definitely want to return and enjoy a morning sunrise on the beach from the RV.
Or a sunset too.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found something useful in it. If so, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Share it with a friend or a loved one. If you're interested in RVing and you want to see what it's like for newbies, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of our latest videos.
Right, and also if you want to see like a little cinematic video, I'll put the link below.
Yeah, so for each site that we go to, Henry loves editing and he likes to put together like a short film.
Yeah.
Pretty much without all of our talking. So that's something that you guys can check out on his channel as well.
Yep.
So
well, on that note,
we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.